What is going on, everybody? It's Thursday. It means it's me and Raj doing our thing, talking Niners. Probably the biggest game of the year. We probably said that was Philly a couple weeks ago, but this game is, Raj, essentially a preview of the Super Bowl, possibly. And the Niners are at home. They're I can't say that they're relatively healthy. They're actually pretty banged up. The Niners, offensively, we're pretty healthy though. And this is a huge game. The Niners only have to win two out of the next three to get the home seed and a week off in the playoffs. So before we talk about specifics, I just wanted to get your mindset and your overall feelings on just the whole grandiose thing altogether.
Yeah, man. What's up, Aaron? How you doing? I'm
Good.
happy to see you today. It's Good Thursday.
It is.
Honestly, man, this to me is the Super Bowl preview. I think that the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, and the 49ers are proven they're the best team in the NFC. These are the top two teams in the NFL. It does honestly, whatever happens this Sunday, or sorry, Monday, and I
Sunday,
definitely
yeah.
think
What were we saying? Sunday?
what
It's
do we?
Monday.
Yeah, Monday, bro. You got me all messed up.
Sorry.
Merry Christmas. This is going to be the Super Bowl. I really think if both teams can stay healthy and play to their potential, this could be the Super Bowl. Now, the one knock on the Ravens is they haven't been able to win in the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson in the Lamar era. It doesn't take anything away from him. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's gonna be a tough test. Like he is their offense. He's their top running back. He's so good. He creates on the run. He's scrambled. He's the most elusive quarterback in the league. I mean, there's good elusive quarterbacks, but there's Lamar Jackson. He is a tier above these mobile quarterbacks. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Whatever happens, happens. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. I'll be hyped. It's one more step to the number one seed. Like you said, 49ers need to win 2 games out of the next 3 to get the number one seed. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do it unless they just fall apart at the end. But I don't see that happening. They're too good. But I'd like to see them win this game so you can kind of rest a little bit more towards the end, but at the same time, you don't want to take your foot off the gas pedal. So even that last game against the Rams, even if you have it all clinched up, I still want to see them making sure they're not like lackadaisical because you want to go into this playoffs, with some momentum. Because the thing is, if the 49ers do get a number one seed, you got a whole week off. You don't want to get too rusty. So there's just so much. It's just NFL football. It's such a strategic, sport. You got to make sure everything's going right, stay healthy. The Niners are a little banged up, but the Ravens got some injuries too. So it's not like it's an even keel both ways. They got big injuries. We have big injuries. So at the end of the day, man, I think this is gonna be a fun game, and I honestly do think this is a Super Bowl preview, man.
What do you got going on over there? What's that
Oh yeah, I
background?
live close to like the VTA, the train. The train's probably coming through.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
used to live next. The train is usually at night where I am, but
yeah.
let's say hi to the chat real quick before we get any farther down the rabbit hole here. We got Renee Cruz popped in a little bit before the stream starts. Thank you for coming through. She says, "Bang bang Niner gang." Absolutely, she's diehard. That's awesome. We got our main man Bashar, my Iraqi brother from another mother. What's going on, brada? Brada. Debtopia says, "Hey guys, let's F and go." We got the one and only Jess from East Coast Red and Gold podcast. How you doing, Jess?
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to our quarterback rankings yet, so just stick, stick, just stay tuned. Raphael 562 is in the house as usual.
The
Never a
staple.
stream.
This guy's the
He's just
staple of every Niner community. This man is
everybody.
a
I don't know how. Do
go.
you have like 25 tabs open at any point during
This
the day?
man is the go. I love this guy, Raphael. Shout out to Raphael. Shout out to Depressed Niners. Shout out to the whole chat. Shout out to
Right.
Debtopia. I've been doing my giveaway, my promo with Go Bar. We're only one more day tomorrow. She actually won day 8, so we got a winner in the
Nice.
building. Yeah, check it out. That's cool.
Nice. We
Yeah.
have Jimmy Perez in the building. He says, "What's up, Raj and Aaron? Thank you very much. Not much. It's a Thursday. Niners play on Monday. I'm really I'm a little nervous, man. This is a big test for the 49ers. I want them to win. I want them to win because I got into a disagreement, not really a disagreement. Like some people in the chat when I was on with Ted yesterday were saying like, no, let's not have any time off. Let's just go, keep playing. And I'm like, nah, man, this team is so banged up. I don't know how you would go about playing the last game if you were already clinched, but it's a good problem to have instead of playing a bunch of road games. We got Christine Workman in the house. What's up, Raj and Aaron and Faithful? Thank you for coming through. Who else we got in here? We got Chris Osorno. I always mess your name up. He says, very excited about this game. I'm a firm believer that the Niners make a huge statement in this game. Niners get a quick lead against the number one defense, and it's a well done Brock Purdy. Capital Boy says, number 6 is coming. I can feel it. I've been since 81. I haven't felt confident since 94. I'm kind of right there with you, Capital. Depressed Niners fan. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I got a little pushback on what you just said, because you said this is a big test for the 49ers. You're nervous. Aaron, this is a big test for the Baltimore Ravens. Let's stop sitting here and
giving everybody credit all the time.
In our boots. Let's stop getting panties in a butt. Let's stop being afraid. This is the 49ers. They are the number 1 team in the NFL.
Raj is pretty much telling me, Aaron, stop being a bitch.
Exactly. You said it the way you said it. I said it the way I said it. The Ravens are coming into San Francisco. Now, don't sit here and get it twisted that we are going to dominate them. Don't sit there and say any of that. Like, the 49ers still have a big matchup. This is still a tough game. Ravens are good, but the 49ers are the number 1 team in the NFL. The 49ers are at home. The Ravens have to come in and play the 49ers at home. So it's a big test for them. That's all I got to say. This is going to be a good game because both teams are great. Both teams have good coaches, good quarterbacks, good offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, like you name it. Both teams have great everything. But this is also a test for the Baltimore Ravens.
You're right. I always play like the coy kind of afraid guy. Maybe in my mind, I'm a little bit more confident than I put on camera. Depressed Niner fan is in the house. He says, what's up, Raj and Aaron? We got Susan D. Who else we got here? Ace Boog. He says, who will be the difference makers come Monday? We'll get to that. Liana Mala. Oh, man, I'm bad with names. I'll just call you Liana. Thank you for coming through. We got 49er Chanel in the house. He says, what's up, faithful? Who else we got here? We got Brandon. He's in the house. Thank you for coming through, Brandon. Don't call him Lou Ferrigno. Sorry, I had to. We got free Wi-Fi in here. I wish I had free Wi-Fi. He says, Monday Night Football, great test for my Ravens. If we win, Lamar is the MVP, right? Yeah, I think with both quarterbacks, if both play really good, I think whoever is the winner of this game takes the trophy, but we could be wrong.
So let's talk about that. So, okay, this is the battle of the top 2 teams in the NFL, right? So I don't know if you heard what Steve Young said, but Steve Young, he's a legend. He's a former MVP himself. He says this is pretty much the game that's going to determine MVP. And this is what I've been saying, right? If Brock Purdy goes in here and he goes toe-to-toe with the great Lamar Jackson and he can take down Lamar Jackson, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. If he could take down Lamar and have a good game, then you probably say, okay, Brock Purdy's MVP. Now, if Lamar Jackson comes in, let me stay consistent. If Lamar comes in and he has a monumental game on the road against the Niners and wins, I mean, you can't argue that he's MVP. He just beat the 49ers, right? I mean, the other guy, though, in the equation is CMC. He's a bona fide MVP candidate. So, honestly, it's tough to really say who's the MVP right now because it's still close. This is probably the biggest game of the season, like you said. This is Super Bowl preview. If you win the Super Bowl preview, chances are the best player or the guy that steps up the most should win MVP. But what's your take? Who's the MVP? If Lamar wins, does he get the MVP? If Brock wins, does he get the MVP? Or if CMC steals the show and has another 3-touchdown game, so if CMC has another hat trick and he's the reason the 49ers win, do you say, okay, he just proved he's the MVP. The 49ers beat the Ravens because of CMC. So what's your take on it?
Wi-Fi said it best. He says they're not giving an MVP to a running back.
You never know.
Unless he just goes on a tear the last 3 games. And
what if he has 10 touchdowns in 3 games?
Then yeah. But if that doesn't happen, I really think it is the winner of this game. I mean, say what you want about Brock, and you can make all these conversations about him being protected and being insulated, and they're the Avengers and all that happy horse stuff. But fact of the matter is, he leads in every statistical category. And really, to me, the MVP isn't a career award; it's a yearly award, and it usually goes to the person with the best statistics. who plays really good football and whose team is probably the best team in the league.
Okay.
It's usually they all kind of coincide, and if that's the case, then it's going to go to either one of these guys. I mean, Lamar is everything to the Ravens, so he is in a way. If you want to talk about most valuable player, he's the Ravens' most valuable player.
Absolutely.
But and people will say, well, Brock's probably the fifth most important person on the 49ers. Maybe that's true. But again, it's a quarterback award. We're going based on history. I think if Brock comes out and balls out like he's done, another 3-touchdown, no interception game, makes a couple of big throws, I think this goes to Brock, which would be unbelievable.
Amazing. Second year in the league. But so to that point, which is you made a great point, Aaron. Now, that's the big question, is because a lot of people do doubt Brock Purdy, in the media, and a lot of those people in the media have a vote. They're the people that are making the say at the end of the day on who's going to win the MVP. So if all those people in the media are still giving a pushback, he's the fifth best player on his roster, because get it, there are going to be people that come when it's voting day to put the pen to the paper and say, you know what? CMC was the MVP of that team. Like Brock said the other day, right? He hands him the ball, he turns around, and it's 70 yards in a cloud of dust. He told everybody that he's the MVP. Obviously, CMC is like, no, it's the MVP, the Spider-Man pointing meme. They both respect each other so much. But I think the voters might actually look into that whole aspect, say, well, Brock hasn't earned it yet. He's still a second-year quarterback. Because of that fact, they might go and lean towards picking CMC. And this could be the first running back that's won it in a long time. I know they don't win it a lot. There has been a running back to win the MVP award before. I mean, CMC, there's many times I've watched the games and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, he's the MVP. How many times have you heard yourself say that? So it's not that it's not like a valid take, but I mean, he is a game changer, man. Look at what happened to this offense since he came aboard. I know Brock Purdy's a very important part, and I think personally, I would choose Brock Purdy for the MVP just because we haven't had a quarterback like this in years. Look at the quarterback play; it's phenomenal. We're not sitting here crying about who's going to be the quarterback next year, who we're going to draft. We're talking about, oh my God, we have our franchise quarterback. When are they going to pay him? Right, in a couple of years, are we going to be able to afford him? That's the dialogue now. It's so amazing, but you cannot take anything away from Christian McCaffrey. Like, this man has been so important. It's tough. Like, again, this is what I said this week. It's fun to actually be sitting here, and our argument is who's going to be the MVP of the NFL, and it's one of the guys from the 49ers, instead of, oh God, who's the hell is the quarterback? Oh my God, our arguments have become so different these days.
Yeah, everything is way less. There was way less clickbait with the quarterback position now. You could have a whole stream and get a gazillion views off of a question mark. Well, who's the quarterback's going to be? Quarterback controversy, question mark, huge views. Now it's like you got to be more clever with stuff because that's not in the conversation anymore.
No.
That ended in August when they sent Trey Lance away. And I know a lot of people are really mad that Trey Lance isn't the quarterback, and they will always penalize Brock, and they will always give you 7,000 reasons why Brock isn't the guy. My biggest issue is you can't penalize somebody for having weapons. That's the stupidest argument ever.
Absolutely.
It's an award based on production. That's what the MVP is. You get in the Hall of Fame down the road based on a career's worth of work. Yeah. Okay. So maybe there'll be years where he has less guys around him that are as talented, and we'll see how he plays. But that's not now. That's not the conversation. We're having most valuable player. It's a production-based award. It's a quarterback usually. I think CMC has a real shot to get it. If anything, if Brock doesn't get it, I say Brock gets maybe comeback player of the year. If CMC doesn't get it, I think CMC gets offensive player of the year. But to be honest with you, I'm really not concerned about any of this stuff. I just want us to win a Super Bowl this year. That's all I care about.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like I said, we're arguing on who the hell is the best MVP in the NFL on our team. Like, this is a great argument to have, because in the past years, we haven't been worried about that. So you're right. And I just remember the days of Tim Rattay and then, those abysmal, dark days.
Even JT O'Sullivan, he might have a great YouTube channel, but he was Dookie Cheese at quarterback.
Man. I mean, we had Ken Dorsey. They had bad quarterbacks. We're actually
didn't Rick Meyer play for us at one point?
There's so many bad. Sean Hill, we are in the golden era of quarterback for the 49ers. Brian Hoyer, Jesus Christ, man. This is so nice to be sitting here talking about our quarterback in an MVP race. Whether he gets it or not, it's just nice to know that we finally have a quarterback that is just amazing. But speaking of quarterback, now on the other side of the coin, I think there was a question in here. Is someone said, let me find it. It says, did let me see. I think it's a Lamar Jackson question. It says, is it true the Ravens haven't lost to an NFC team yet? So let's talk about Lamar and the Ravens because they dominate the NFC. Lamar Jackson for his career against the NFC, Aaron, is 19-3. He actually goes out there and kicks the butt of the NFC. The Ravens are very good against the NFC traditionally. And on Monday Night Football, also, another stat that, kind of helps the Ravens is this year, all the Monday night dogs have won, all the Monday night underdogs. So, I mean, if you're looking at the stats, at history, if you're a bettor and the odds, they're kind of in the favor of the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson, a 19-3 record against the NFC. That's incredible, man. And he is a good quarterback, and it is going to be a tough game. Like I said, I know I told you earlier, they have to get ready to play us. But this is a good game. On paper, it's two really intense teams, and Lamar's probably going to be the best quarterback the 49ers have played this season. If you look at all the quarterbacks this offseason that got paid, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and all these guys, Lamar got a lot of scrutiny. I remember, oh my God, this guy's stupid. He has no agent. What are they doing? He's going to get sent to another team. There was so much like mumbo jumbo against Lamar, and he got his contract. He stood on business. And out of all the quarterbacks that got paid, he's the one that's healthy and leading his team to the playoffs. Like it's crazy. All the quarterbacks have been hurt this year, pretty much. Lamar Jackson is the one that's standing up and just playing to his contract, man. So respect to Lamar. He's going to be a tough matchup. The last time the 49ers played him, 2019, I mean, that's a long time ago now. It's definitely a different team. But I just remember him cooking ankles and shaking and baking. And I was like, oh, God. So it's going to be a tough matchup.
Chris doesn't agree with you. He says the Niners are going to kick his ass.
Okay.
He's not gone against an elite defense, not sold on a team that barely beat the lamb chops at home. I'll say this, Chris. Every game is different. It's like you can't even every time I want to say that about a team, like, oh, they lost to this team and they did this, so that means that they're not going to beat this team. And then that team comes out that week. It's all about matchups within the game. The Niners have had a really bad defensive game last week. I mean, that was just horrendous run defense. Horrendous. I watched that game and I was happy we won and won the West, but I was so
they got to clean that up. They got to clean that up.
We're going against we're going against the most elite runner at quarterback that this league has seen in a really long time. And if we play like we did last week, he could run for 300 yards on us. I mean, that's let's talk about that. Actually, let's move the needle to defense. Can they contain him like Hurts? Because Bosa said it's a completely different game plan. He said that you're not going to rush carefully. You're going to actually rush kind of with reckless abandon and just go after him and make him make decisions, get up in his face. I feel like that could be a dangerous way to play. I don't know, man. What's your thoughts?
So, Bosa basically said that you have to make him uncomfortable. You have to force him to throw. And I mean, if you have one knock on Lamar, everybody says he's not a great throwing, he's not a good quarterback in the sense of guy that could sit back in the pocket and eat you up, right? But, every dog has his day. And then that's what Bosa said is you have to continue to be aggressive on him and get in his face, make him uncomfortable. But now going back to the point of, did the Ravens play anybody good this year? I mean, obviously on paper, their schedule hasn't been as tough as 49ers, the Rams, but they did play the Browns twice. And the Browns, that's a legit defense. You saw what they did to the Browns are a good team. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. Joe Flacco, shout out to him, playing better than Deshaun Watson would have done this whole season. But the Browns have a good defense, and Browns did beat them 33-31, and the Browns did lose 28-3 earlier in the season. So if the 49ers need a blueprint on how to beat the Ravens, they need to look at that Browns game because that was the game, November 12th, where the 49ers need to look at. And Lamar Jackson, he had 2 interceptions, and that is the key. You have to get to his face, suffocate him, force him to throw bad plays, and make him be a pocket quarterback. Because if you take away those legs, then yeah, he's going to make mistakes. And the only way to win this game is you got to win the turnover battle. And again,
Yep.
I think the 49ers are probably going to be the best defensive team they have played, but the Browns are a very good defense. So I'm not going to take anything away from that. I'm not going to say they've played nothing but bad defense. Browns are good. Myles Garrett's probably going to win. Honestly, I think Myles Garrett's defensive player of the year, if we're being honest right now. This guy is just disgusting. He's so good. And if the 49ers can rush Lamar like that, it's going to be a long day for him. But they have to be able to close those lanes. And last week, like you said, their run defense was paltry, and the Cardinals ran roughshod over them. I mean, James Conner played with some revenge on his mind. He took it aggressive, but he took it personal. But the Ravens, they're a better team defensively than the Cardinals. So if they can run the ball and they have a good defense, they might be able to stop the Niners. Now, on the flip side of it, I think a lot of that had to do with the depth that the 49ers are lacking right now at the defensive tackle position, right? Hargrave and Armstead not being there is huge. Hopefully they can play. I know Kyle said that they got a chance to play this week. They got an extra day to rest. You know, they didn't practice today. They need those guys. Kalia Davis, he's also injured. He's on the injured reserve now with the ankle. So they signed a guy, Stallworth, this defensive tackle, to the practice squad. They'll probably call up T.Y. McGill, but Stallworth and T.Y. McGill are not Hargrave and Armstead. So it's going to be tough. Can they stop the run? I don't know. Now, the big injury for the Ravens, Keaton Mitchell, he's gone for them. You know, he's on the injured reserve. That's a huge injury. I mean, they still got good running guys, Gus Edwards, and they got Lamar and stuff, but that's a huge injury because this guy was a speedster. And, I mean, that definitely going to help the Niners. But if they don't have Hargrave and Armstead, it's going to be a tough one, man.
What about the Sue talk? I mean, I know they asked Kyle, and he said it's not in their plans as of now. A lot of people are like, sign Sue, sign Sue. I'm actually not against it, just because he's a veteran guy who's played before, and he's better than anything that's on the roster right now, even at the age that they are. Do you know anything, or is that just a bunch of hogwash?
No, it wasn't hogwash. They were interested in him last year. Ndamukong Suh, he did meet with the Dolphins, so I'm sure they're going to try to maybe bring him in. Now, the reason why I don't think the 49ers are going to go after Suh is because today they signed Taylor Stallworth. So I think that's what they're basically doing, is saying, hey, look, we're hoping the Armstead and Hargrave come back, and this is Stallworth is the guy that's going to replace Kalia Davis, in the lineup who got hurt. So I would love to see Ndamukong Suh for the depth, but after what happened today, I don't see it, because they did sign a guy, and they do have T.Y. McGill on the practice squad. They have some guys. And again, I think they're banking on Hargrave and Armstead to come back soon. So because of that, I don't see it. And again, like I said, Ndamukong Suh is meeting with the Dolphins. He may be signing soon with them. Maybe it's just something that the Niners aren't looking to pursue because they have a cheaper option in Stallworth. I mean, I'm not saying Stallworth's better than Suh, but they gotta financially make it make sense. And I don't think they're gonna go get Suh. I hope that I'm wrong, but from what I understand, it doesn't look like Ndamukong Suh's coming to the Niners.
This signing we had today makes me think that there's a good chance that both of those guys are playing.
Yeah.
Based on just the low level of, he's someone no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
As opposed to a guy that he's playing, there's a good chance somebody's out for a while. Dale made a good point. He says, we are going to be okay, man. Every time we bring up these scary teams, we kick the living poop out of them. I know. That's my fault. I respect everybody in the league. It's just my way of preparing myself mentally if we lose. That's what I do.
You're a good guy, Aaron. You don't want to be upset after the guy. I get it. But, I mean, you're right. He's right. That's a great comment, because I remember here come the Cowboys. Oh, it's going to be a close game. Oh, it's going to be close. We whooped them. Oh, my God, here comes the Eagles. It's going to be it's going to be a close game. We whooped them. But at the same time, I don't want to get too cocky, because if I say, oh, we're going to whoop the Ravens, we maybe not. So I'm going to sit here and say, it's going to be a tough game, close game. And again, they do have a quarterback that's a little different than Dak and Jalen Hurts, but they do have some injury. Keaton Mitchell, like we said, and Mark Andrews being hurt is huge. Like, let's talk about that. Their tight end is probably one of the best tight ends in the league, probably top 4, top 3, somewhere around that range, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is the safety blanket for Lamar. And now they don't have him. I mean, they do have some good players, they have Likely, they have Zay Flowers. Those guys are 2 good young, receivers. They have OBJ. I know he's a little older, but sometimes he shows up. You don't know what OBJ is going to happen. But Monday Night Football, Debo, OBJ, OBJ is going to want to put on a show. This is going to be one of those vintage OBJ type performances. But I want to see Mooney Ward strap that man down. I cannot wait for Mooney versus OBJ, man. Mooney Ward has been on another stratosphere lately. This guy is amazing. Did you see last week he was on Ark Armstead's podcast, and he says, "Look, I'm right now top 3 to 5 cornerback in the league." He goes, "If I make those PBUs and interceptions, I'm the best in the league." I love his confidence, first off. And then, boom, the game comes. He turned those PBUs into INTs, and we're sitting here talking about him as the best cornerback in the league. What a guy, man.
What are we talking about? We talking about interceptions?
We talk about INTs?
Not the breakups, not the PBUs. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Let's talk about the trash talk that people say was taken out of context.
Oh, way out of context. Okay, go ahead and talk.
Marlon Humphrey said he don't respect the Niners at all, but you say it was taken out of context. So go ahead.
So yeah, okay. Like I saw that yesterday. A couple of people were tweeting about it, and they're trying to make it as bulletin board material. But honestly, man, it was so like the clip they did. It was a sarcastic clip. If you actually watch the full video, the YouTube and stuff, he gave so much respect to, the Niners. It was the opening part of the podcast. Obviously, it's a clickbait type, message. It is so bad. But how you have Niner fans, if they don't watch the full thing, they just see the clip. Oh, screw Humphrey, screw Marlon Humphrey. Oh, I can't believe it. Bulletin board material. Like, yeah, if he really meant it, yeah, F him, dude. But it kind of gives a bad look for Humphreys. And he said nothing. Like, if he really would have said something nasty, like, Hassan Riddick, when he was saying boo-hoo, this and that, like, yeah, we could come in and pull the receipts. But he honestly didn't say anything. Like, as people were showing it to me yesterday, you got to post this, Rod. Did you see it? Did you see it? I was like, I'm not going to post it because you got to have some integrity, and if you're going to show that, show the whole, like, clip with context. But I was a little irritated that people were posting that. I was just, come on, man. Like, you're trying to get some clout off of that. He said nothing wrong, man. At the end of the day, I think both of these teams have been very politically correct, and they don't want to say, you don't want to give any bulletin board material for this type of game. You don't need to give any bulletin board material. Now, the only thing that I saw that was, I wouldn't say it's like keep the receipts type stuff, but the Ravens, so Kyle Hamilton, the Ravens safety, he said that the Ravens, they feel disrespected as the underdogs, right? They said they think they're the best team in the NFL. They feel like they shouldn't be the underdogs, that they should be the favorites. But then if you really think of the grand scheme of things, you're coming into Levi Stadium, you're the road team. Obviously, you're going to be the underdogs on the road against a team that just beat, Seattle and Philly and Dallas and all these teams. So, yeah, they should be the underdogs. But what the Ravens are looking at is, okay, now they're having a chip on their shoulder. I get it. They're 11-3. They're the top team in the AFC. You can't be that big of an underdog. But the way it sounded was like, oh, my God, we're being disrespected. But the whole Marlon Humphrey thing, that was so out of context, Aaron. I can't believe people posted that.
I fell for it. I posted it. Sorry.
I
know I'm horrible.
It was tongue in cheek, and I saw it.
I was mad when I listened to it. I got pissed.
I was so pissed when I saw that yesterday. I was like,
I was telling my brother, I was like, yo, he just trashed us.
He didn't. If he would have, I would have posted it. That's the whole, because I saw it I see it before everybody. If I don't like it, if I don't think it's worth posting, I ain't posting that nonsense. And the way I look at it is this.
The way I look at it is this: the 49ers have earned the right to be the favorites in a lot of games because they beat all the best teams this year.
Yeah.
They went into Philly. They went into Philly and whooped them by over 20 points. They had Dallas here. We whooped them, right? We went into Jacksonville, who is probably one of the best young teams in the AFC. They don't really look like that anymore, and we smacked them on the road, right? Like, they've earned the right to be that team, and they have earned the right to get the favorite and going into games, This isn't a team that's just been, like, getting by on luck and stuff. They've been going in and they've been putting in work against good teams. I mean, even last week, we won by 16 points. We gave up 29.
You give up 200 yards rushing, and you beat a team by 16 points. That's a damn good team.
We had our worst game on defense, and we still won by 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions. Just think about that. So, and to me, I want to ask you about this. I know this has nothing to do with this week, but how scared were you when you saw Brock Purdy go down last week?
Oh
I was
God.
like,
So,
no fucking way. Really?
oh my,
I was scared.
Aaron, I was at the game. I'm in the stadium, and Brock goes down, and everybody's like, we're looking at each other. We're like, it's like the wind was knocked out of our chest. It was like a
Yes,
deflating
dude.
feeling. And then everybody's like, what's going on? And me, when I'm at a game or watching the game, people text me, what's going on? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? So I'm on Twitter trying to figure out what. And then you have Lombardi. Oh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. I was like, what are you talking about? It doesn't look good. What the fuck? And then I see him go into the medical tent. Everybody's freaking out. We're all like, the season's over kind of mood. And then
Oh,
he
yeah.
comes back in. It was like the most amazing moment. It's like Jesus just walked up, parted the red. It was amazing because the whole
He came back to life after 3 days being dead.
he did. And the
And he
craziest
wrote,
thing, Aaron, was the crowd went bananas. It was
I heard it. I heard it on the
90%
television
Niners.
broadcast.
Dude, it was, yeah, when you're there, it was surreal. But then when I replayed it back when I was home and I watched it, I was like, oh my God, it really
Were they
was.
chanting his name when he was down?
They were like,
Hey,
let's go rock. Or something. They were chanting. They were chanting his name.
I heard they
And then they
I
were
thought they
like,
said, let's go Purdy.
oh, yeah, that's what it was. Let's go, Purdy. And then they were like, and then he comes up and everybody's like, oh my God. And then there was a moment because he comes back in the game and then he leads them to a touchdown and everybody's like, MVP, MVP. Oh my God. Like the crowd was so Niner friendly. It was like all Niners in the fan in the crowd, but that moment was scary. It
We
was
travel
scary.
well, people. We travel well.
Scary.
This is what I'm saying. I think that this is an important game. I know you say if they lose, kind of like you can still take care. But I think this is important because then you essentially have two teams the last 2 weeks that one is barely trying to scrape by to get in the playoffs, and the Rams and the Commanders are just they're playing for next year. And I always get scared when you play a team who has nothing to play for because they usually play incredibly hard. People in the comments earlier were like, "Yeah, we'll probably lose to the Commanders." You can't. The Niners, they've proved me wrong all season. Every time I've doubted them or I've been scared about a potential matchup, they've gone into that game and completely kicked the ass of the other opponent, or of the opponent, not the other opponent. So to me, it's just like this game's huge, man. I think this is a good barometer. I think the Niners guys are going to come out really hyped. My biggest fear of anything is just that their defense doesn't play well. If they can play well on defense, I don't know, man. Like I've seen some games where like when the pressure is on Lamar Jackson, he has folded in the past.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah. And
you've
that's
seen
the
him
game.
kind of implode and throw some picks and his body language and all that. Like there's two ways this game's going to go. Either he's going to go freaking crazy on us, or we might have a defensive game where we force him to throw a couple interceptions and we get up 21-3 or something. And then all of a sudden it's like completely the complexion changes because now, their offense, they have to throw the ball. You know what I mean? They have to specifically throw the ball, make him play from the pocket. You know what I mean? You're not going to live and die just scrambling the rest of the game. You have to make throws. So to me, Niners getting up early in this game, maybe forcing a turnover or two, I think would be huge. I think if this game is close later down the line is when I'm get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Chris seems to think he says that Lamar is not ready for the Super Bowl caliber defense. I think you put that up earlier. We'll see, man. We'll see. Our Super Bowl caliber defense looked like a 12-year-old what do you call Pop Warner team, that defense last week. So I agree that we're talking all season and not just the one game, but the Niners need to come in and kind of reestablish themselves like a dog. They got to re-piss on that fire hydrant to kind of show like this is my right here. Like this isn't the Ravens. So my whole thing is come in, play some good defense, couple turnovers, and then we might have a pretty much like a normal 49ers game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Offensively.
I honestly feel like sometimes those defensive games where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe the 49ers was it. They kind of respond after that. So I think Fred Warner and these guys, they're going to be pissed at themselves. I feel like this is one of those weeks where they're like, all right, guys, we can't be doing what we did last week. And again, I know Armstead and Hargrave were missing, and that's something that needs to be, fixed if hopefully those guys are there. But it wasn't just that. They were missing a lot of tackles. And one thing that Bosa said today is, in order to stop them is, you have to not just only get them, like hit them, but you have to wrap up. They have to wrap up their tackles. You can't miss tackles against this team, man. You
I
really
think
can't.
the Niners need to put a lick or two on Lamar too.
Greenlaw.
Like
I
if you
think
got a
Greenlaw.
clean shot on him, that's not a penalty. Don't be afraid to belt him. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to belt him.
Hit him in the mouth.
If he's running and he's not sliding, pop him.
Pop him, baby. Yeah.
He ain't the biggest guy. He's kind of skinny.
He's skinny like me, baby. You know? I like Lamar. You know what though, man?
I'm a big Lamar fan too.
I like
just not
Lamar,
this
man.
week.
Yeah,
not this week.
But honestly, the Ravens, man, they're a good team. They got a great coach. They got a great. It's just a good. This is gonna be a fun game. I really think these are the top two teams in the AFC. Now, can the Ravens run the table in the AFC playoffs? I don't know, because one thing you said is about Lamar is he doesn't win big games. He kind of folds under the pressure. That's true historically. Like if he wants to prove himself, if he wants to prove to people that he's, the guy that can lead a team to a championship, this is why people doubt Lamar. This is why people say he's not an MVP. Because there are people that say he's not MVP. He's not the best quarterback in the league. He's not a good quarterback because he doesn't win in the playoffs. He doesn't win these big pressure cooker moments. So this is a game, as big as a game this is for the 49ers and like Brock Purdy improving himself and everything. This is a big game for Lamar because he gets a lot of hate from people because he doesn't win, big games and in the playoffs and stuff like that. So if he wants to prove that he's worth the money, he's got to win these games. Because in the offseason, when he was going to get his, contract and stuff like that, that's what the pushback was, well, Lamar doesn't win. Well, Lamar doesn't do this. Lamar's not a winner in the playoffs. So it's a big game for Lamar. He's got to prove a lot of people wrong. So I think he's going to be playing his A game, and I think the Niners defense is going to bounce back this week. But it's going to be a fun one, man. It's Christmas. There's a lot of hype. This is the game of the week, man. And, it might be the game of the year. This is one of the best games of the season, potentially. And again, Super Bowl preview, man, in my eyes. And, I mean, you got stars on both sides of the ball. They have great defense. 49ers defense has been amazing, overall through the whole season. But, they're bound to have a few bad games here and there. But the best thing about this team now is if your defense has a kind of a letdown of a bad game, their offense is good enough to carry them and win games. Like you said, they still won by a big margin, 16 points.
My brother said in the past that a game like last week, we would have lost. He goes,
we would have lost.
He's like, Garoppolo would have screwed you.
Absolutely,
I'm like,
Aaron.
100%.
I said that the other night. I said that on the other night on the stream. I said, if the Niners, if this was previous years with the Garoppolo, Niners lose this game. I've seen that same game so many times. I've seen that same game where the 49ers, their defense is just not having the best night and they don't have enough firepower. And then some team comes around the corner and surprises them and beats them. And you're just like, what the hell? That's why Brock Purdy is the difference maker for this team. So
I'm confident that the Niners will come out and have a good game, but I also am confident that the Ravens are going to give their best. They're a very well-coached team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout. And that being said, probably now we go and we crush them, but it happens all the time. But I want to give them a respect, but at the same time, I do think we're the better team. We're talking all around from roster v roster, I think we are way better than them. And they have a lot of players that we don't know about. But somebody in this comment said something. I think it was Dale. He said, you got to make him throw the ball. You got to make him throw the ball. Make him stay in the pocket and throw the ball.
Yeah.
He's erratic. He has a really big arm, but he's also super erratic. But hey, whatever. Let's talk. Speaking of quarterbacks, the right now there's the conversation out there that they were asking Jerry Rice about Brock Purdy, and if he said that Purdy does remind him a lot of Joe Montana, and a lot of people are like, oh, here we go. But what he was saying was it's the cool, calm, collected part of his personality.
Yeah.
Where Montana was never flustered. And he says that Purdy comes off and is the same way. Jerry Rice is the greatest football player that's ever lived, according to me. So when Jerry speaks, you listen. Do you agree with him?
Absolutely. I've said it before. He is calm, cool, all those things that you said. He's very poised in the pocket. And I think that's exactly what Jerry said. He said, look, he reminds me of Joe in the sense of he's just not rattled. He keeps his calm under the pull, under the pressure. He doesn't let it get to him. He's just so poised. And how many times have we sat here and we talked about Brock saying he's poised, he's calm, he's cool, he's this, he's that. That's what everybody talks about Joe. It's Joe Cool, for Christ's sake. They called him Joe Cool. You can't rattle the guy. He's just so cool under pressure. He's smooth, man.
He was always smiling and be like the biggest game of the year, and he's smiling.
And that's Brock Purdy. If you watch Brock, he's not rattled. He doesn't look stressed. He just looks like he's a young man ready to play a game. And if he makes mistakes,
Josh Allen in the same type of circumstances and watch his eyes.
He's like
he always stressed. Looks like he's ready to poop his pants.
He looks stressed out, Brock.
Always.
Brock is calm, cool, collected.
Another person who never looks stressed when there's under duress is Mahomes. Say what you want about being a complaining little weenie.
Well, lately he's been a little
complaining,
but Brock is so calm, and that's what the take is. And when you're calm, you're going to be able to run your offense, and that
you also give that off to other players.
Mm-hmm. If they're like,
other players are calm,
because if this guy's like, oh, he's cool, I got to keep my cool. Brock's cool, I'm cool, and it helps everybody, and it's amazing to see. He's 23 years old. He's so calm. He probably doesn't have any sweat stains under his armpits when he play a game. Like that's hard to believe, but it's true. And for Jerry Rice to give this man the seal approval,
right?
That's all I needed. That's Jerry Rice. You know how many years this man played in the league? You know how many years he played next to Joe Montana, the greatest duo of all time? Like that is insane to get that. Like he knows Joe. He knows what it was like, and when he sees that, you respect that. That was amazing. That's such respect that Brock was given. I was like, wow, that's
Jerry
amazing.
Rice was a Super Bowl MVP. He owns every receiving record known to man. Touchdowns are never going to be touched unless, Christian McCaffrey plays like 5 more seasons and gets him at the clip that he's been getting him. Then maybe he challenges Rice. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'm all in on I've seen the comparison myself. I've made the comparison that he reminds me a lot of Joe as far as just I watch him and he never looks stressed. Sometimes that can be a bad thing with a quarterback because then it's like they don't kind of live it. They don't get that the moment is they don't understand the importance of a moment or something. But I think he does. But I'm all for the comparison. What else we got here? Niners wearing their throwback reds on Monday. I can't wait. I love those jerseys. Takes me back to my freshman year in high school, wearing the throwback reds. Are you excited?
Dude, I love when they wear the throwbacks. Like sometimes I'm like, just wear them all the time. They're so cool. But it gets you hyped up. The players love the feel of those. Look good, feel good. There's nothing like a throwback jersey, man, especially when they're good. And the 49ers jerseys are clean to begin with, but those throwbacks, chef's kiss, man. Something about them. You just like, oh man, when you wear them, when you see the team wearing them, you're like, okay. Like they don't want to lose in those jerseys. They look good, man, and it's gonna be nice to see. And Levi Stadium, Christmas, that just adds to the hype when they wear the cool jerseys.
I feel like Levi's is gonna be rocking.
It's gonna be wild. I'll be there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing. I have a throwback. It's a Fred Warner. I might wear the Fred Warner throwback because we got to rep throwbacks that day. So we'll see.
Chris Osorno says Montana, Rice, and Young have given Purdy their blessing. He is the chosen one. Yes, he is Anakin Skywalker.
He is.
He says the calmness of Joe and the arm and scrambling ability of Steve Young. I can see that. To me, reminds me of Drew Brees, Montana. And it's like a Breeze Montana. Like he's got the accuracy of Joe.
And the mental
quick decisions of a guy like Drew Brees.
He's mentally got it down in the between the
years. He's insanely underratedly, even though that's not a word, accurate. He's insanely accurate. When he makes like that touchdown, that back shoulder fade to Debo in the end zone, that was such a good throw.
God,
nobody wants to give him any credit, especially that.
When I saw that play, I was like, "What? How did he?" Because it was like such. It was like in the.
They practice that, dude.
Corner.
There's no way that's just like, hey, let's just throw it up here. They practice that mess.
How do you? But yeah, the accuracy, the pinpoint to get that pass right where it needs to be because Debo was almost out of bounds. You have to put it in just such a tight window, Aaron. Like it was crazy. So good.
Chuck Pike says he has a 94 Rice throwback. and an
Nice.
88 Montana throwback. That's
Ooh.
you are damn. There was for years there was a store out here that had a Joe Montana white Notre Dame, a green number 3.
Mhm.
It was so fresh.
Mm.
It was so fresh. It was from, Mitchell and S, of course.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a Mitchell and S jersey. If I ever got one, it would either be Rice, Montana, or a lot. You know what I mean? 'Cause those are my guys. But I've never wanted to spend $400 on an authentic, like a real jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not something that came out of a factory in like Guatemala or something. That
Yeah.
they just paste on numbers. Like I want the real deal. So
Yeah, I got a Montana and a Steve Young, Mitchell and Ness. Those are nice. And then I have a old Stitch Jerry Rice, but I don't think it's Mitchell and Ness. I think it was like back in the day when it was like Wilson. I don't know, or
yep.
Reebok or Wilson. Yeah, Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson in the 80s, I think, and Reebok for a little bit towards the
Yeah.
late 90s, up until probably Reebok was probably their jersey up until maybe 2010,
Yeah.
2011 or 12. They switched over to Nike, and they've been Nike ever since.
Yeah, I remember
It's
the
weird that the
Reebok.
Authentics now they got these like little pepper holes in them for air, and even some of the helmets do too. Me and my brother are like, "Damn it! Every time you think you got the latest jersey, you watch on TV, and now they got the pepper hole. I call it the pepper hole. I make my brother laugh. They got the little like somebody took a fork and made some holes in the jersey for air or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
of course.
I like
You
those
can't have the
Reeboks,
latest ever.
I like
What's
the
that?
Reebok. The
I have
Reebok
3 of
jersey.
them.
The
I have 3
maroon.
of
They
them.
were like the maroon one.
Yep. I have a Frank Gore maroon authentic.
Yeah.
I have a Patrick Willis white authentic. And I have a Vernon Davis white authentic. And then when they switched over, I have a Kaepernick authentic too that I would never wear. I wore it back then because I thought he was the chosen one. And ever since then, I'm like, I will not buy a quarterback jersey. If the Niners win the Super Bowl this year and Brock Purdy's a huge part of it, I'm buying a Brock Purdy jersey. I want
a Brock jersey so bad, but you're right. Like I can't do it. But I did make a bet with. I don't know if you watch my IG. There's a guy that we do a Tuesday show. My boy Jake from Uncovered NFL. We made a bet, Niners, Ravens, and basically we put a jersey on it. So if the Niners win, I'll kindly take a Brock Purdy jersey, so I don't have to buy it, and then I won't be jinxing them because everybody says, "Well, you got to." I was like, "Look, if he gets me the jersey, it'll be fine." And then if the Ravens win, I'm gonna get him a Lamar jersey. So we'll see.
What you got going on with you this week? Anything? You got some shows this week?
Probably gonna finish up tomorrow. We got Prediction Friday with Bash. 49er Minded, and then the weekend it's Christmas, so I'll be enjoying the Christmas stuff. Saturday I'll probably be in San Francisco. Enjoying Union Square with my daughter, and then Sunday chilling like a villain watching some NFL football. Then Monday, Christmas, I'll be at the game. So
sounds like a good time. A good time. I hope they win for all of us. Chris asked if we could show him. I'd never had a 49er starter jacket. I never had one. My first 49er jacket I got probably when I was in my early 20s. It was a Reebok jacket.
I used to have a starter jacket. I don't have one now. I have a couple of jackets. Let me go show you the one I have. I've probably worn it. Let me show you the one I have. I'll be right back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Raj is gonna model for us. So just hold on one second. Summon Prime. You had a red zip up, Russell? Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I had a 49ers like pullover, kind of like a pullover thing, but I didn't get a real jacket until I was able to buy it. I don't think my mom would ever buy me one, but I never asked. So you don't ask, then you don't know. But once I was able to afford it myself, then of course I'm going to buy a jersey. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with the Rams, guys? Are they kicking the crap out of the Saints? Yeah, Dale, I got the new jacket, the Faithful to the Bay Gold. I look like a giant baked potato in it because I'm a big guy and it's a big jacket. Yeah, but I mean, I love it. I don't care. Oh wow, they are okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, the jersey, the like I said, the one that I have is that Faithful to the Bay Gold. I think Raj has the red one, if I'm not mistaken. He has the red Faithful to the Bay. Let's see. The Rams are rolling 27-7.
Yeah,
Not
Rams are
surprised.
crushing.
That's okay. The Rams scare me more than the Ravens do.
Wow. Okay, so this is one of them.
Oh, that's nice.
This is an older one.
Oh, that's
NFL.
nice.
Look at this. Old school with the little helmet logo. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Booming. The stripes. It's got the national, like the old script on it.
That's awesome.
This is a good one. And then the Blast logo. Boom. Big logo up front.
That is sexy.
Nice. This is a pretty.
You have the red Faithful to the Bay jacket, right?
Yeah. So this is
that's
this
what
one.
I thought.
Pretty.
They're like, that's freaking clean.
This is clean.
You know what's great? You being a skinny guy is everything. It always fits all
It does,
the time.
baby.
All my clothes, I have to buy them large or extra large or 4X. That is, you know what? I'm kind of jealous. I should have gotten the red one.
The Mitchell and Ness. Yeah, this is the Mitchell and Ness. Faithful to the Bay. Obviously, you see the Faithful to the Bay.
Yeah, mine's
it's
really
got
puffy.
The 75 logo on it, the emblem.
Yep.
It's got the, what else? What else does it have on it? Oh, yeah, the 49er script on it.
Beautiful.
Script.
I bought one for me and my nephew. I bought him a jacket, too. This is probably about the size.
This one's nice.
It is so nice.
This one, I'll probably wear this one to the game. I'm not going to lie to you. Because it's, this is the one. This is the one.
It's so nice. It's so nice. Because, yeah, like 49er Mind had said, it's got that old saloon font in it, man. That saloon font's where it's at.
Yeah.
Puka Nakua is going off in this game. Yeah, what else is new?
He is. I'm watching it while we're streaming. Now, this is my other jacket. This is the Jeff Hamilton. These jackets are. This is
dude. You know, I've always wanted to get a Jeff Hamilton jacket, but I never know if I would get a football one. I was thinking of getting like a Darth Vader one or like something else. Like that guy makes buku bucks,
dude. They're like super. But I got it from him. This is from Jeff. He gifted it to me. This is an amazing jacket. It's like pure leather. Like, dude, this jacket is just
leather.
Yeah.
Oh God. I love the smell of leather jackets.
This is such an expensive jacket, dude. And when he gave it to me, I was like, the lucky. Oh man,
look at that.
Ooh, this one is nice.
What do you think, guys? You think we should somehow we got to get Raj to get like a runway in his house, and we could have him just model all his 49er clothes?
I'd do it.
Clothed, of course.
Of course.
We don't want to see anything else.
No, it's not an OnlyFans. This jacket.
Ooh, you probably could make it OnlyFans just showing your jackets.
Look at the Jeff Hammy. Dude, Jeff Hamilton, nice guy. I've talked to him, met him many times. Such a good dude. Oh, this jacket is
I want to retell people Raj is flexing on us peasants. I wanted to retell people the fact that you got the Gold Bar whiskey. You got the Gold Bar whiskey. What's the thing? What do you call it? Sponsor.
Oh yeah, sponsorship. But
like Bash last week. He's like, "Have you seen this?" And I'm like, "What? What? Who's that guy? I know him." Cool, and you made, dude. If you guys haven't seen it, go to his Instagram. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Follow his Instagram. He's catching fire. But his that commercial or that ad, when Bash showed it to me, I'm like, what? And then, it's out of a Montana highlights. And like, your ability to deliver lines was primo.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We did it. Like, honestly, people are like, how many takes did it take? It really didn't take them. It took like, I did it like mainly in one take, but there was a few of the words I had to like, there was like 2 parts. I had to like reset it because they didn't have the view right. It took us 15 minutes tops, dude. And like, we knocked it out. So it was fun.
Big and Raj. Have you seen that? I know
that
you saw that.
Was so funny.
They do look. Yes.
That was so funny. That was awesome, dude. When he goes, we're gonna bring Christian up here. We're gonna do this together, and then Christian goes, "Yeah, we're like Big and Rob." I was dying. That was
totally
so
looks like that.
It really.
He says that jacket looks huge on you, bro. It's better to be. I'd rather have a jacket big on me than have it too tight and look like a fat ass. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Like, you want to do you want to do a score prediction for Monday? or is it too early?
This jacket is. Let's do it. Then I'll have another one
Okay.
tomorrow.
You can go
But
first.
I might change. Okay. He put me on the spot. I said this the other night that it's going to be. Fuck, what did I say? I don't remember what I said the other day. I got to remember it. I'm going to go with score prediction right now, what I'm feeling, but it'll change tomorrow if I know Armstead and Hargrave are playing. Right now, I'm going to say Niners 28-20.
I think I had that previously. I'm going to go Niners 31, Ravens 24.
Okay.
Means the Niners are going to give up some plays because they're going against the best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
35-24, let's go. Joseph Gold, you literally just said this. No, I said 31. Okay. I can do that. Dale says 42-28, 49ers. That'd be back-to-back weeks where we've given them almost 30 points. That's not good. I hope that's not the case, Dale. I respect your prediction. Chris says 45-10. Terrence Davis says 31-17.
Okay.
C says 35-31. Russell Garcia says 31-21. 49 says, Chris, I hope your prediction is true. Dale says a W is a W is a W is a W. I agree. I don't really care as long as the Niners win.
I agree.
I do want them to play well on defense, though, because, we're going into the playoffs. I don't want them to get completely just, like, run on all game like last week. Like, I want to see improvement.
I want to see them show that, they're going to come into the playoffs with an intense defense because you can't just rely on the offense. But I think by the time the playoffs roll around, you should. I don't know. We'll see.
How much do you think that the not having Hargrave and Armstead last week was the reason? Do you think that's part of it, or do you think
that's a big reason?
Let's talk about the last thing, and then we'll get out of here. The Niners tackling the last couple of weeks has been abysmal.
Absolutely.
Abysmal.
Piss poor. But Armstead and Hargrave are a huge part of this defense, and they are run stuffers. Kalia Davis, Javon Kinlaw, as good as they've been playing, they're not Armstead and Hargrave. And T.Y. McGill, I'm sorry, he's not good enough to replace those. They're nice depth. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they're bad, but Armstead and Hargrave are Pro Bowl players. So that is a huge part, because if you're running up the middle, now it puts more pressure on the rest of your defense. And if you're already having trouble tackling, you're going to start over pursuing. And I think that's what's happening. The 49ers are definitely over pursuing, and they're having bad tackle issues. But you're right. They have to clean up the tackling. Like, absolutely wrap that up, man.
Some of it to me was last week, and I thought that the Niners maybe underestimated the Cardinals too. You could say all the time that you never underestimate anybody, but it happens sometimes. I mean, the talk when I was listening to KNBR, they asked John Lynch if the Niners were tired. He didn't really downplay it, but I mean, everybody's tired this time of year, not just the 49ers. So that's kind of a lame ass excuse. But hey, I think we're gonna win. I'm holding out hope that Cowboys and Eagles can lose again, so the Niners essentially could wrap up everything way sooner. I forgot exactly how it goes. I was listening to
real quick. So if the 49ers win, right? Obviously, if they win, if Dallas loses, if the Eagles lose, and if the Lions lose this weekend, the 49ers get the number 1 seed. But if all those things, because they asked Fred Warner this too, and he says, well, even if all those teams lose, we still have to win. So regardless, the Niners just have to handle the business and win. You can't rely on other teams. Just got to win.
Yep, you just got to win. You got to take care of your own business. But that's going to do it for us, guys. I'll see you Saturday with Bash, hopefully at 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Raj will be on tomorrow with Bash.
7 p.m. Pacific.
Raj will probably have another fresh lid and shirt. He's got like 7,000 of them. I just threw out like 2 garbage bags worth of old shirts. So all I got now is new stuff. It's either 49ers or Violent Gentlemen. That's all I wear. So everybody have a great rest of your evening. If you're on the West Coast, it's at 7:30. So enjoy. Go make a cup of coffee, drink some beer. I don't know, whatever you want to do. We'll see you next week.
A cup of coffee at 7:30 p.m.
I drink coffee at 9. It's okay. So everybody take care. We're out of here. Peace. Where's the end stream button? There it is. Bye.